Última parte, Jornal da Noite Canadá. Ministra dos Transportes de Ontário, Mulroney, juntou os média étnicos numa conferência cultural para falar sobre a construção de um túnel para a extensão do metro de Scarborough. A nossa jornalista, Teresa Santos, marcou presença na conferência e teve a oportunidade de falar diretamente com a ministra. Vamos ver e ouvir.
I am thrilled to be here this morning with all of you, as well as with my colleagues, to discuss the three-stop Scarborough subway extension. For years, the people of Scarborough have been left behind with outdated transit. But under the leadership of Premier Ford, and with the continued advocacy of our Scarborough MPPs, that is going to change. I'd like to thank the Scarborough PC caucus who have championed this project on behalf of their constituents. Our government has never wavered from our commitment to deliver Ontario's historic transit plan for the GTA, the largest of its kind in Canadian history. When I was appointed as Minister of Transportation almost 2 years ago, Premier Ford tasked me with leading the charge on Ontario's 4 priority subway projects, and we've made great progress since then. Earlier this month, the federal government endorsed our bold vision for transit in the GTA and committed their 40% share, $10.7 billion, to Ontario's nationally significant subway projects. This is truly historic, but the work is not done yet. Our government will continue to invest in improved transit to meet the growing needs of our province. With our federal and municipal partners fully on board with our plan, we are full steam ahead on Ontario's 4 priority subway projects, including the Scarborough subway extension. Major construction will begin next month, and I cannot wait to see shovels in the ground.
Infrastructure Ontario and Metrolinx awarded a $757 million contract to Scarborough to design, build, and finance the tunnel for the Scarborough subway extension. Preparatory works at the launch shaft site have already started in April, and major construction, as the minister has said, is set to begin in June. The contracts are signed in our government's promise to build a modern, reliable, and sustainable public transit system that the people of Scarborough and the rest of the people in the GTA desperately need and deserve is kept. Once completed, this 3-stop subway will extend service from Kennedy Station to Shepherd Avenue and McCowan Road, providing quick and seamless transit for those heading in and out of the downtown core and those traveling within Scarborough. With the support of experienced teams like Scarborough, we're pushing ahead with the successful delivery of Premier Ford's transit vision.
Good morning, everyone joining the panel today. So my name is Teresa Santos, and I'm here from Correio da Manhã, Canada. So my question for you today, Minister Mulroney, is since the project is only expected to be finished around 2030, what innovative key elements are we expected to see in terms of technology, sustainability, or even any measures for any future pandemic? Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Well, obviously, people, as we've heard already on this call, people in Scarborough have been waiting for a long time. So waiting until 2030 may seem like it's still far off into the future. So what we have wanted to do is actually give the people of Scarborough proof that we are moving forward with it, because people have been skeptical. And that's why we've started with the early works project of tunneling. And so people across Scarborough are going to see a lot of activity with people actually building, digging and building tunnels so that we can see progress on the project at long last. And so what we've done is we have, as I said, put the tunneling in an early works contract so that we can show progress. The other thing, and you may not find it innovative, but as a legislator, I do, we proposed and got passed through the legislature some accelerated measures that will allow us to deliver the project sooner, so that we can work. We have a historic partnership with the City of Toronto, but we were looking for ways to streamline the process so that we can be sure that we can hit our timelines that we've set they are actually ambitious. 2030 to deliver the project by 2030 is ambitious in a busy and highly densely populated area like Scarborough, but we're committed to doing it, and that's why we passed the Building Transit Faster Act, which contains measures which will allow us to deliver the project. So from a technological perspective, may not be innovative, but from a legislative perspective, it's important.
My question is how the project has been changed. We know that before the late Rob Ford, it had a lot of changes, and then it went back and forth. What exactly is the latest plan that is going to be implemented? Thank you.
Our government was the one that confirmed the 3 stops for the subway, and we worked with the city as well as most recently the federal government to build support and also to secure funding for this project, which, by the way, when I was at City Hall was a constant challenge. There was always a lot of indecisiveness back and forth about the alignment, the stations, and then the challenge was also the cost of the project. So now all the boxes are checked off thanks to Minister Mulroney's leadership. When we shared in the positive news with the federal government of the $10.7 billion investment in our subway system, I don't think we were ever so excited as that day. And now everything is done, the contract is signed, and we can very much focus on the actual building of the subway line for the people of Scarborough. And I know that the hardworking MPPs who represent the ridings of Scarborough will keep the folks and yourselves updated as we continue to progress and as we continue throughout construction.
You know, I've been city councillor, Toronto city councillor, many years, and I'm representing Scarborough North. Earlier, it was Scarborough Rouge River. Scarborough people living in the Still and Morningside, that area, and to come downtown, they have to change so many buses and LRT. They say it took 2 hours. We need subway, but the Liberal Party, the provincial Liberal, they know the residents of Scarborough, we are anxious to have a subway, so they use that. So every election, the provincial Liberal Party, they say, subway, subway, subway. After election, nobody talks about subway. That's the Liberal what they did. And, you know, I have a great confidence in our Premier Doug Ford. He knows that Scarborough, we need a subway. He made the promise, and I feel so thankful to Minister Mulroney and Associate Minister Kinga Suma. You know, we deliver. As Scarborough residents, they're happy, and we could trust this particular government and our Premier. So I'm talking from the bottom of my heart and from my own experience. This is the best news for Scarborough and the best investment in the recent history of Ontario. Thank God, it's happening finally.
Minister, first of all, great announcement, and it's a very good news for Scarborough residents. Can you tell us which year this project will be completed? And also, do you have any plans to take subway to Kitchener and Waterloo region? Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Well, we are aiming to have the Scarborough subway extension completed by 2030. And but people will start to see activity in the next few weeks as we move forward with our tunneling contract. So, so while the wait is still, people are still waiting, they'll see a lot of activity. We want people to know, as Raymond Cho just communicated, people have been waiting for a long time. We want people to know that it's actually happening. With respect to Kitchener Waterloo, we are expanding GO Rail further and expanding our service levels to move closer to two-way all-day GO. And we announced just recently the release of the business case that will allow us then to deliver that, as well as we're entering into negotiations with our freight partner so that we can deliver on that promise as well.
Again, I just want to echo Minister Mulroney and also Minister Sarma and Minister Cho that people of Scarborough, they've been waiting for this for over 2 decades. Minister Cho, he was our councillor for more than 2 decades, 20 years. So we know that Scarborough people, they just tell us that when we go door knock, they just tell us somehow just get the transportation, access transportation from Scarborough to downtown so that they can reduce the commute times. And finally, it's happening. And this news is definitely huge news for people who work here, who live here, and who, for all the kids, all the students who go to downtown for part-time jobs. So again, I just want to echo all the comments. I know MPP Myers is also, previous to this, she was a school teacher, and now she's a huge advocate for Scarborough Subway from Scarborough Centre.
I have seen firsthand the real need for a Scarborough subway from the time that I was growing up and going to university, taking the 21 Brimley to Kennedy and then going all the way downtown to U of T. So this is something that's really sorely needed, and it's going to make a tangible difference in the everyday lives of people that live in Scarborough. So it's such an exciting time to be a part of it actually happening. And as Minister Surma said, all 3 levels of government are together on this and united. So this is an unprecedented move. We're going to see tunneling work happening, and it's really happening. So it's the greatest of times to be a part of the Scarborough team.
It is great pleasure to be here on behalf of the resident of Scarborough Aging Court. We are so proud of this government, which is government of deeds, not words. They deliver on what they promise to the people of Scarborough, and the Scarborough is not the forgotten region or city anymore.
We're very excited that we're moving ahead in such a way with Scarborough Subway Extension. And I want to personally thank Minister Cho and yourself, Vijay, as well as Christina and Eris, for all of your incredible advocacy. Many of you have been advocating for this for a very long time. Raymond, longest of all. But the message that our government heard and is delivering is that the residents of Scarborough deserve the same level of transit as people elsewhere in the city of Toronto, and that's what we're going to deliver.